What went into that first half, and I guess just what went wrong?
Well, again, I'm not taking anything away from Vanderbilt because Mark has done a great job with this team, but we were awful. I can't remember how many times I heard our guys on the bench yelling, "We've gone over that. We've gone over that." I can't explain it. I wish I could. We weren't good. I thought they got settled in and very. They're a really good basketball team. I mean, you go back, they've been competitive in every game. They're right there. I think they're an NCAA team, as well coached as any team that we've played all year. But second half just proves to you that how important a mindset is, because that's what the message was at halftime. We better change our mindset right here, right now, in terms of everything that we want to do, playing more aggressive, playing quicker, doing things that we talk about. And we didn't play with any pace in the first half. And then you combine the fact that just way too many defensive breakdowns, and they just owned the paint in the first half, and we were able to get control up in the second half, out-rebounded by 10 in the second half. So the script kind of flipped in terms of being more aggressive. Really proud of Felix. I thought Felix was terrific all day. Loved Chad, really moved without the ball, and then got downhill a couple times. As bad as he was the first half, he was the difference in the game in the second half. The second half, he came out and did what we needed him to do and closed the game. Got it, and I thought Jemiah Mashack, when we went to the small lineup, his energy lifted everybody. So Igor had a tough day. That comes with not practicing. He hadn't practiced this week, and I walked through because he was involved in most of those early breakdowns, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he didn't practice at all this week. But and they do some difficult things where you got to be on edge. You got to react to what they do. They did a great job flipping the screen up there, getting us twisted up a little bit, but just a better mental effort the second half.
Coach, such a great second half, outscored Vanderbilt 50-32. How important are these strong finishes to an NCAA tournament team? And on the flip side, what adjustments do you think can be made to have stronger first halves?
That's a great question because we haven't been good. So we're as good as our defense is to start the game. We start the game with, again, I think 2 turnovers tonight. And we've talked about it a lot. But I wish I knew the answer, to be honest with you. I did, because as much as we talked about it and trying to put guys in the right spot to do it. But tonight we came out, we weren't very good offensively to start, but that's not why we got down. We really got down tonight because of our defense. And then you go back to every game that we've lost, it's been because of our defense overall, even though there's nights I can tell you we've had high-quality shots. We didn't make them. But you go back to the last game against Kentucky, last 4 minutes, it was defensive breakdowns and a couple things offensively that we didn't take advantage of from a scouting report. And I'm going to give a little bit of it to the fact, and I talked to the team about it, Igor, D. Stone, Chaz, a lot of those guys haven't been at this level at this time of year and understand how important every single possession is. And that's what, again, we keep harping on it, talking about it, but it really is true. Our preparation, like I said, I thought we had good prep, but it didn't show up the first half. And I like the fact that we came back the way we did. But a lot of that had to do, again, second half we played with the kind of speed that we need to play with, as opposed to a slow, methodical game. But again, they got any and everything they wanted in the first half.
You touched on it a little bit a minute ago, but what was things like at halftime? What was your tone? What was the message? Were other guys stepping up and talking?
Well, I thought Jemiah was good at halftime because, the coaches had gone in and talked about defense. I normally go in and we'll talk about a couple of different things and talk about some offensive stuff. But I talked about a mindset. I said, this time of year, you either wilt or you grow. I said, which one are we going to do? You're going to be in games like this the rest of the year. And we're disappointed that where we are because, our goal is every year to try to contend for an SEC championship. We know that's gone. But the fact is, a regular season championship, that's gone. But it's a mindset. And there's a lot of teams heading into February that would love to be where we are. There's a lot of teams that are probably already taking inventory And then there's those teams that really want to make a run at the national championship. And if we're going to be one of those teams, it goes back to what I've talked about, a mindset of getting better and being able to look at each other and talk. And we as coaches, we keep doing that with these guys, trying to put them in position. I talked to Jamal Meshack last night. We were on the phone together, and I told him, I said, what I want you to do, I want you to find your place in the corner, and I want you to shoot corner threes when you're open. And he did it today, and he made two of them. And I said, if you'll just do that, and then all these other areas where he likes to drive the ball, but if you'll just make up your mind, you're going to get yourself there. And when we went to the naked side ball screen, he did a lot of good things on the backside where he was screening, trying to get a shooter open there. But he, as much as anyone at halftime, talked about, said, this isn't who we are. Why are we doing this? And I said, I mean, where's our mindset? But the fact is, the second half, the guys that, and I told him the guys that we expected to do it last game didn't do it tonight. He and Shaq and Z did it. And Felix, and I thought Chaz in some ways was as good as he's been all year because of the things that we talked about yesterday. I really thought he tried to implement them.
Zakai, but what were the things that he did best in the second half, and where does that 20-minute stretch from him stack up with some of the most special things you've seen him do?
I thought he got back to playing with a real chip on his shoulder. That's what I thought. I thought he got back, and his competitive spirit really showed up. That's what I thought, because the first half he was getting driven by the things that he doesn't normally do, and I thought that was it. I thought the guy that we've always known, that's who he was in the second half, knowing that everyone, people game plan for him, but he was just determined. He's strong with the ball. Got mad at me probably because I said some things to him I don't normally say, but to challenge him a little bit. And I thought he responded well because I've seen him do it, but I thought that's who he is and that's who he needs to be.
What did you say to him?
Respect. I said, who's getting respect right now and who's getting disrespected? I said, come on, man, you can't. The things he was allowing to happen out there that he wasn't doing. And again, I have such a high standard for him, and he's probably got an even higher one for himself. And I thought the minutes he set there, I think he's best when he plays angry and with a chip on it. That's when he's at his best because he's always been a fighter his whole life. When he's no different than anybody else, and I've said it to you guys many times, when guys get comfortable and thinking that every game is going to be the same because it's not. And I like it when he got that look on his face that when I think of him, I could see it in his eyes, and he was terrific in the second half.
Coach, you were critical of your guys in the last 5 minutes of Kentucky tonight. They were lights out. I mean, what's the biggest difference? How proud of you?
I am. I really, because again, the guys that we expect to close games out and be smart for us, they did it. I mean, and you go back, you really had three guys that have been here that have been in these type games, and like I said, Felix was really good. I asked him after the game. I said, I don't know what that dude did to you, get you fired up, but I wish you'd tell me, because I thought he played with a real sense of purpose and passion all day long, but but I am, Rob, those guys that, again, the mistakes we made the other day we didn't make today, and we couldn't afford to because we'd have lost again if we would have.
Rick, you talked about Chaz maybe playing his best game of the year and doing the things that you all talked about in practice. What are those things?
Driving hard to the basket, not just settling for and be rubbed off his cuts. He gets grabbed more he and Jordan get grabbed as much as anybody in the country coming off screens, and which I have a problem with. I mean, because I believe in freedom of movement, and they get. I mean, all you got to do is look at their shirt tails; they're out all the time, and by rule they're supposed to keep them in, but they get tired of putting them in. And but I thought he did work hard. I thought he made a couple of real hard drives down the lane and finished them, and I thought defensively he worked hard.
Coach, you spoke a lot about Zakai, but what makes him so good in that high ball screen and dribbling and driving into the lane?
Well, today I thought he was locked in. I thought he was seeing it all. Start of the game they were giving us the throwback. We didn't see that one early. That's what we should have done. But the more he's in it, and the more he can, the empty side ball screen got us back in the game because we were getting there quick, getting into it, and got us to get down quick and score. And because if we play the way we want to play, we're normally going to put guys in long possessions. We didn't want to be in real long possessions on the offensive end when you're down 16, 18, whatever we were. But I thought his vision was great today. I thought he saw it. I did. I thought he really saw it well, and I thought he obviously did a good job getting fouled, but he also did a good job making some layups.
Yep. Rick, have you ever been part of a conference as difficult as this one has been this season?
No, it's really is the parity, and you know what? I don't know if we've got quote unquote a lot of NBA players. I just know I've never seen a league with the depth that each team can play with. That's that, and the quality of that. And I think obviously when I look at it, terrific coaches. I see we haven't played against a team this year that hasn't played really hard, competed at a high level. And once we've gotten a league play, you expect every game to go down this way, regardless of what anybody else thinks, whether you're home or on the road. You'd like to think if you play your best, you're going to win. But it's just it's really, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think it's going to be good for a long time. I just think that I go back, and not to rehash it, but 10 years ago we were one of the worst leagues in the country, and you look at the commitment that's been made from everybody, from the universities, by the facilities, and I think most everybody's there. Not everybody, I don't think, is there yet, but we're getting there. But officiating, when you look at it, you're never going to be totally pleased. I mean, I'm sure after every game that people are going to complain about some officiating, but I think we got the best officials. I do. And I really do. I think that what Mike Eads and Garth Gleason are trying to do, are they perfect? No, I wasn't perfect today either. I got upset, and I respect the fact that the communication was good today, even though that we can beg to disagree, because I still think I'm right on the way I looked at it, and then nothing they can tell me that will change my mind, because I know what I saw. And I get the replay behind my head, so I get to go look at it and confirm what I see, But again, it's a great league. It is, and it's going to get better. I just hope our league is really rewarded the way it should at the end of the year. But we got a lot of basketball to play. There's a lot left to go. I'd like to see our league, if there's 12, 13, whatever, teams that are NCAA worthy, I think they should be there. If they've got overall quality wins, they should be there, because this has been a historic season for this league, and we should be rewarded for it.
So 2 more hands up, David, then Reese, and that's it. Rick, kind of a follow-up on the officiating. 9 fouls in the first half, 23 in the second half. I want to say it was just last week at Oklahoma. You only had a couple of fouls in the first half and said we came out and played the exact same way. Are we seeing more fouls in the second half of games this season, and is there a rhyme or reason to that?
Well, today is not an easy game. It's always a difficult game to officiate when shots aren't going in, but when one team's scoring, the other team's not. But today you had 2 teams that drove the ball really, really hard. Both teams were really trying to get fouled, and both teams were in, pretty much ball screens a lot. My only thing about fouls is I think there's certain things that have to be called every single time. And the big part of that, I think, is freedom of movement. But I think it's like that NFL rule, that pass interference rule, where they get it, where they get fouled, or and the reason that's such a bad rule, because every referee gets to call it the way they see it. And what I love about the NBA officiating, there are certain things that are a foul on the first play or the last play, on the first game or the last game. That's where I think we got to get to overall, as opposed to letting, like I had an official one night say to me, well, if he hadn't scored the basket, I would have called the foul. I said, well, what's wrong with the old-fashioned three-point play? And I don't understand, because I believe you just officiate the rules of the game. And again, I don't think anybody does it better than our league. I don't. And I don't think there's a harder league to officiate in this league right now because of the parity and talent. But today's game obviously was, I think, we knew we had to come out and get aggressive, try to get to the foul line, try to score some with the clock not running, those type things. They do a great job of attacking the lane, and if you look at it, it was kind of a tale of the two halves. Where they got in the first half, they didn't. I think they got 8 in the second half from driving. I think, and then the first half, the second half, I think we got 24 points. So, and it's hard. It's hard. And again, I do think the officials are working hard to try to be consistent. What they call there, they call on the other end, and that's all I think coaches look for. But you can disagree on three-point shooting. I mean, I can talk about that play, and I respect Owen so much. I think he is going to be a great official. He is. I mean, he's a Final Four guy, but we see it different sometimes. And but I know those guys work their butts off. I know, and they know they're getting evaluated. They're trying, and just like coaches are trying to win every game. We're fighting and clawing, because as much as we're trying to do things the right way, that other team's really trying to mess you up. And those referees are trying to officiate the fight. And it's hard. It's a hard job. And but overall, you've got to believe in the end it evens out, and that's what you hope anyway.
Coach in the back here, Felix has to guard the perimeter against a lot of teams like Vandy. How do you see his perimeter defense improving throughout the season?
From where he started at the beginning of the year, because last year when he was at Ohio State, his coverage was mostly drop coverage, staying back. And that was he's come so far with that, because we like to get up and be a little bit more aggressive on the ball. But he's grown so many ways, and I'd still like for us to get him the ball more. I thought his little jump hook there is what we need from him, and but he was really locked in today, and but he's gotten so much better at being able to. He should have switched one time tonight. He did, but then he didn't, and they hit a 3 off of it. But and that's when we took him out for just a quick second, because we thought he might be a little fatigued there, but he's not. He's not executing because he doesn't want to, and most of the time when guys break down something like that, it's normally fatigue. Thanks, Coach. All right, thank you, guys.